Now it's time for public comment. Anyone who's in the audience that wishes to speak, now is your opportunity to come up to the front here to the microphone, and I ask that you state your name and address for the record. Speakers will be limited to 2 minutes to deliver their comments. Kevin will keep track of the time. He raises his hand at 1:45, and I ask you to wrap up your comments then. Those speaking are asked to conduct themselves in a respectful manner as they deliver their comments. Audience members are asked to refrain from reacting to comments, and the City Council will not respond directly to comments in this venue or take immediate action in response to them. So anyone in the audience that wishes to speak, now is your opportunity. Come on up to the front. Give us your comments. Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Don Thede. I reside at 1735 Cedar Valley Drive Northwest, just south of the Skyline Gardens, and I am a victim of this black bear. I've been hit 6 times since the 25th of June. We try to do some of the things that have been suggested by the DNR, and he went from nighttime hitting us to 10 o'clock, between 10 and 10:30 Sunday morning. After the wife had brought the feeders in the night before, put them back out about 7 o'clock. Now he's hitting us during the daytime. I agree with what some of the stuff she's been saying, but my theory is, why do we have to wait till something happens before we do something about it? That's like shutting the door after the horse is out of the barn. And he's living right next to the trail, North River Straight River Trail, and his ideal spot. And then he frequents along the creek going east and west, which is behind my residence, and everybody on Nature Valley Drive, which borders the creek, all the way around to a past police officer on Cedar Valley, or on North Cedar, I should say, and 20th Street. And now he's hitting the garbage cans, and I wish something would be done more than just training the bear or training us. As we get older, we don't like to be retrained. So I leave it at that. If you folks could indulge in some kind of a reception to this, it would be very appreciated. If you need more people to step up and speak, I can gather people for you. Yes.
He just talked, he's doing the time.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No, I appreciate your comments. It's good to know that, and we can have some more discussion about it, so.
I'm one of the callers that talked to Tom, the mayor, so thank you.
We know where to find him, so yeah.
Right.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wish to speak? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Matt Sennett, 2519 Stony Creek Drive, out on the east side of town. Just coming up here just to, I guess, convey my thanks and thanks of many residents in that area of town out there near the nursery. As you know, that's where the east side corridors, that county highway they're proposing, has been proposed at a location out there at 29th Avenue, but hearing more and more that there's an openness to being maybe moving that out, even if it's not to 34th, moving it out east. And we just appreciate that's being evaluated, especially given the safety considerations of moving something like that so close to existing residences. So just want to express my thanks for that. And on behalf of many residents in that area out there, I think the terminologies used has been wherever the east side corridor might be located. So we take that as an openness to continue dialogue and just hearing out our concerns out on that east side of town as we wait for the study to come back and determine where the preferred route for this corridor would be. So thank you for that.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wish to speak this evening?
Melissa Zimmerman, 2525 Stony Creek Drive. Last night was National Night to Unite, and I wanted to thank you guys for all going out and visiting the people in your wards. I know everyone's busy, but it's great that you guys took time to come out. Thanks to Dan for coming out to see us. We had a great turnout, a bunch of families, lots of kids. That's what we're looking to protect with the East Side Corridor. So thank you again for keeping our family safeties in mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jones.
More attention to Kevin this time. I got deep last
He's starting the timer now.
Well,
Yes.
because they talk now.
You gotta watch Kevin.
I wouldn't do it twice in a row, would I?
Gary Jones, 995 Ridge Road. This last Monday night, I was doing what a lot of you were probably doing, watching the Olympics. And my wife and children love the women's gymnastics. We watched the 8 greatest women's gymnasts in the world, and 4 of them fell off the balance beam, this ugly thing that's 4 inches wide, 16 feet long, and 4 feet high. And when I can't walk, it looks even better yet. They have met a test on the world stage, I don't know how many times, hundreds of times, in front of millions of people. And they always passed that test until they didn't. Surprised probably the ones here watching and surprised us. They've been tested so many times on the world stage, and they didn't quite live up to the hype of the media because they're not infallible, as some would say. We have many bow hunters who take a proficiency test in order to be granted permission to play with deadly weapons in our public parks. This is one test on one day, not in front of millions, but in Owatonna in front of a few. Now, are they proficient? Some are probably great archers, and some maybe are not. But like the gymnasts, they have no margin of error, and they are not infallible. And their margin of error is even smaller than the gymnasts, as their sport uses deadly weapons around kids and park goers who don't even know they're there. With a small margin of error, if that caught the gymnasts, if it produces a mistake for the bow hunters in the same way, it's going to be a lot worse than just bruised egos, because this can produce an injury or a death. It's a very real possibility, because we all know these weapons are designed to kill. The margin of error can be reduced to 0 by pulling the hunt from Mineral Springs, which has not had a deer taken out of it in 3 years. It's too busy, the chance of injury too great, and if you have to have a hunt, please consider having a 2-week hunt in a remote park away from homes and people that may wander in that are closed to the public. You'll still get your deer, but the public still stays safe, and they get their parks back in 2 weeks instead of 8. Please give it your consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Your 13 seconds will carry over to the next meeting.
Okay, all righty. I'll take it. I'll just walk slower next time.
Anyone else wish to speak this evening? If not, then we'll move on to council comments. And first up tonight is Brent.
Just want to remind the community that next week starts the largest county fair in Minnesota. So we'll see everyone starting the 13th at the Still County Free Fair.
Hard to imagine it's that time of the year.
Correct. It's hard to imagine.
All right, Doug.
Thank you. I have a couple of things I wanted to mention tonight. Now, Monday night was kind of a crazy night. Lots of sirens going off, and a lot of people don't know we have a really dedicated group called Skywarn. As soon as it starts getting bad, they get out and keep an eye on things. And then they assemble down at the fire hall as well. So they do it just because they're passionate about keeping everybody safe. So we need to make sure we thank them. Secondly, I had the chance to ride with the fire department last night, which I always get a big kick out of because I like the big red trucks. It's fun to ride around in. I was with the chief and we went to 6 parties. Met a lot of great people, really upbeat, nice people, great night, and we got to see the mayor at one of the parties, so that was nice. And I just wanted to thank the fire. We met all the police. They were out all night last night, so that was fun to see them. People really were nice and kind to everybody, so it was a great night. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Nate.
Nothing to add.
Hey, Dave.
Nothing to add.
Dan.
No comment tonight.
And Kevin.
Yeah, thank you. I also attended a lot of night unite parties last night. I was fortunate to ride with Police Officer Josh Sorensen. We ended up stopping at 5 parties. Between Josh and myself, neither one knows when to shut up. So we didn't get to as many parties as we'd hoped. But I agree with Councilmember Voss. A lot of positives. It's, it's one night that we had 32 or 36 parties last night. And it's a great thing. When neighborhoods come together and they talk to each other, it resolves a lot of small issues that they take care of the things in their neighborhood. And it's just a great night. The weather was perfect. Thank goodness it was on Tuesday night, not Monday night. But it was a beautiful evening. Fair starts next week. I will be out there every day, noon to 1 on KFAN with the band. So hope to see everyone out there.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Mayor Tom.
Nothing to add.
Chris?
Nothing from me.
Well, I think most people have said everything. I'll be out at the fair as well. I'm sure